What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to show you guys how me not taking profits on two different trades ended up leading to me taking a hefty loss today and what I'm going to take away from it. Hope you guys enjoy. What's up, guys? Hope you're having a good day. Back at it again. So yeah, to break it down, I went basically 2 for 2 today. Actually, 2 for 3. I didn't overtrade. I kept myself from taking any more of a loss over 538, which is what I ended up losing today. 538 to be correct. As you guys can see, I'm only up $155 now, and I'm going to explain to you why I didn't take profits on two different trades, and yeah. So open range high was from 17,584. Open range low was from 17,492. Now my first trade was not actually the open range breakout. I actually have been wanting to um, not like trade in the noise, but for instance, like this trade right here would have been a good setup if I would have just stayed in, break below that EMA. We tested it, got out. That would have been a good trade right there. This is what I'm trying to really aim for a little bit. Not necessarily all these breakdowns, because at the end of the day, I have noticed that I do tend to get caught in a fake out breakout. And yeah, so my first trade, I actually noticed that we were having a really hard time for about 5 minutes breaking above this EMA. So I thought to myself, you know what? We're having a really hard time. Every single time we push above, we get rejected, as you guys can see right here and right here. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to go short, and I'm just going to write it down to the open range low at 17,490. Well, as you guys can see, we ended up having a nice little push up to the moving average. And once we actually did crack it, I decided to take losses. I lost $334 off that one trade. Now, as you can see, I was very frustrated, and I had to walk away for a minute to just get my thoughts together, because as you can see, even though we did crack that moving average not once but twice, we did end up pulling back and retesting that 490 level. So I would have ended up making money if I would have just held for maybe about 5 more minutes. But to be fair, guys, I'd rather have taken a $334 loss than a $500 loss or a $600 loss. But that's just me. Now, the second trade was the open range breakout. We had that beautiful break open below. We did go to retest right here. This is actually where I got into a short, and I was down. I think at the highest I was up like 250, 260 at the absolute most. But I've been really trying to get better about letting my runners run, simply because in the past week, actually the past 2 weeks, I have had maybe 1 or 2 days where I've made over $200. And that's a really big problem, especially when I get the express funded account. The reason why is because one of the criteria for me to do a payout once I get the funded account is that I have to have at least 5 days where I make $200 or more profit. So if you really think about it, yeah, I went on an 11-day green streak, and that's nice and all. But out of those 11 days, I only had 2 days where I made $200 or more. So if you really think about it, out of 2 full weeks of trading, I wouldn't even have been able to pay myself, simply because I would not have met the criterias. So that being said, looking back at those trades that I've taken, I'm trying to get better about letting my runners run. We did not make a new low. We bounced off at around 465, and I was waiting to see if we would retest that 457 just to see if we would have buyers step in. We never got it. I basically ended up breaking even, and yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little frustrated, but yeah. So that was my second trade, and then my third trade was actually right here. It was actually a good setup. We tested this 439 range not once but twice, had a nice little bounce, which indicated that we were not making lower lows. So we started to have a break of pattern. Once we started to make higher highs, and we actually had that break above the EMA, I went long. Once I went long, I got out at around 480, simply because, as you can see right here, around 480, 483, we started to have some sellers step in. We are having a hard time breaking above it. So I took profits. I think I made like $120. So at one point I was only down like 220, 210. Now this is where it was actually right here. So we had I noticed that we got rejected right here at around 17,500. So I wanted to see if we were going to make new highs or if we were going to break below this open range. Well, open range support, turn resistance, turn support. Yeah, gets a little confusing. Basically, once I saw this rejection right here, um, I was pretty comfortable with going short. I just wanted to wait for that break below the EMA, just as like an extra step of confirmation. Once we had that break below that EMA, I ended up going short at one point. I was at maybe like, I think $100 at the absolute most, but I did not take profits. And then as you can see, we ended up holding above the EMA. And then once we did indicate higher highs, I took a loss. And yeah, that was my trade for the day. So, and I actually journaled all my trades right here. And I think there's one trade I missed. I think it was, yeah. Basically, on that trade that I made $110 on, I sort of consider that breaking even because I could have made a little bit more, but just where I got out at. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just had two trades where I'm trying to actually remember just because it was this morning and it's almost midnight right now for me. Um, yeah, my first red trade was right here. My first green trade was actually right here. Well, broke even right here because I did not take profits down here, and I ended up breaking even right here. And then where was it? This was like the first trade where I actually made over $100. And then yeah, this was a trade where I lost like almost $300. So yeah. Just really frustrated with today. Um yeah, this I got a lot that I can take back on. Now, one thing I am going to talk about is what I'm going to do different next time, and this is where I'm going to start really getting. I'm probably going to get some negative comments back, and I'm going to trade micros tomorrow, probably for the next few days, because I want to start off doing with two contracts. And you're probably thinking, Joe, you just lost $500. What the hell are you thinking, boy? The reason why I want to start off with two contracts is because in my head, on both of those trades where I was up a little over $200, I didn't want to take profits because I only had one contract. So that being said, the way I'm looking at it is if I would have had two contracts and what I would have been up $400, I could have taken one contract out, bam, $200 in the bank account. I mean, in the account, cool, that's profit. That second contract, worst case scenario, I break even just like I did on that second trade. You see where I'm getting at with this? So that second trade, I could have easily made back my loss and been in the green. But because I didn't take profits, because I was trying to let my runners run, I ended up screwing myself, breaking even, and making no money. So and another thing too I want to actually mention is I'm going to be reviewing my old journals where I actually it led up to me getting my second funded account back in June. So I'm going to be looking back at my old journals from like April, May, and June. Those were the times where I was working on getting the funded account, and I actually did acquire the funded account June 5th of 2023. That being said, I'm just going to make sure I'm just going to try to pinpoint what really led to me, acquiring that funded account because I do seem to be having some trouble. As you guys can see, at one point I was up $1,400. Now I'm only up $155. Had 11 green days in a row, and I barely had a few days where I made over $100, let alone even fewer days where I made less than barely over $200. And then the fact that I can have 11 green days and then have three decent nasty red days and be only up $155.20, that's a really big problem to me and my risk management. So evidently I need to take a step back, look at my risk management assessment, figure out where I'm going wrong, look at my old journals, try to figure out like, hey, these are the things that led to my success to get that funded account that last time, and try to implement it into my trading this time. Because I've had two funded accounts. Like I said, the first funded account I lost within like a week. That was back when Top Step had a rule where if you hit the $1,000 daily loss limit, your account got completely cut off. Like you were done. You had to do a reset. You had to go back to step one. And I don't know how many of you guys know much about Top Step, but Top Step actually used to have a step one combine and a step two, where you had to make 3K on both of those just to get the 50K funded account. So that's why I'm really going to be looking back and figuring out, hey, you not only did this once, but two different times in less than 2 months and got a funded account. So there's definitely a lot that I can probably learn looking at those old journals. I do plan on, informing you guys and letting you guys know about that. But yeah, I just really wanted to open up. I won't lie though, it did take a lot for me to walk away. I did really want to. I really wanted to make up those losses, especially because at one point I was down 334, then 228. At one point I was like break even, but I didn't take profits. And then I ended up taking a red trade and ended the day down 538. So very frustrating on my part for sure. I got a lot that I can take back, a lot that I can learn from. But yeah, I'm probably going to trade the micros. I say that, but knowing me, I really can't take another loss like this because then I'm going to be forced to do a reset. So I'm going to have to remind myself that before I even get on the computer, like, hey, I have to trade micros today simply because if I take another $500 loss, I'm probably going to have to do a reset. I can't break below like $49,444. So if I take one decent loss like I did today, I'm gonna have to do a reset, and I'm just gonna be SOL, and then that's gonna be another $50 out of my pocket. So yeah, like I said, definitely a little discouraged, a little annoyed, um, but I'm gonna work on starting with two contracts simply because you know I take profits on one, and if I do get caught in a pullback, worst case scenario, that second contract break evens. At least I have a little bit of money where I took profit. Cool. Um, but yeah, if you guys enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. If you guys want to put your 2 cents in, comment below. I love interacting with you guys. Let me know how you guys did today. Let me know what struggles you guys dealt with today. If you guys did good, let me know what led to your success. Let me know what led to your red day. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow.